Welcome, one and all. My name is C.Truth, host of the Thermal Soundwave Show and Indie Review. And today we are going to be covering the CONCH International Film Festival going down live in New York City, Queens at the Regal. And we're going to be talking to a filmmaker who's featured in this year's festival. And he does a lot of different things, I mean, he is a speaker, author, a content creator, a community advocate. He also is an entrepreneur, and he does a lot of things for the people. And he goes by the name of Mikey T. What's going on, Mr. Mikey T?
How we doing, everybody? Hi. How we doing, boss? How you feeling?
Everything's good. I feel great. Yes, indeed. You can catch Mikey T, as I said, this year at the CONCH International Film Festival. For more information, CONCHIFF.com is where you go. Right there beneath the screen, you can see it. But if you're listening to my voice only, CONCHIFF.com is where you go. And for those who don't understand what the festival is about, it brings light and shines a bright beacon onto the creative voices of the indie and student film directors and writers of the Caribbean diaspora who inspire change and inspire, period. You know what I mean? And Mr. Mikey T right here has an organization called Inspired People Inspire People, which I love that particular name. So tell us about that. Let's start right there.
I was literally just doing some work and I was talking with a family member. And I'm sure a lot of people have heard the mantra, hurt people, hurt people.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just like, well, if we want to combat hurt and we want to combat trauma, we need to inspire people. And the only way that I guess you can inspire people if you are inspired yourself. And that's why I was like, oh, let me just do this thing. And I called it IP squared. That would be like the short name of it, because we basically, we're humans. We search for our inspiration. And in our search for our own inspiration, we inspire people to do the same thing. So it's kind of an ode to life being a journey and not a destination, like most people may think. Like, if I get to this goal, then I can turn around and inspire people. But little do you know, while you're working towards your inspiration, you're inspiring other people as well.
Absolutely, definitely. And how long have you been rocking with that organization? How long has it been in existence?
It's just right at this moment in time, it's just kind of like a little mantra, a little motto that I
Gotcha.
use amongst my friends and stuff. The big thing that I've been doing is this whole, which kind of leads towards that, which has been my journey of Jamaica Story, this documentary that is going to be showing at the film festival that I started in 2018 with absolutely no training in film and no idea how to produce a movie.
Right. So, what made you want to take on this task and tell the Jamaica story?
Um, I it came from a love that I have of Jamaica. I was born in the States to Jamaican parents. My mom sent me to live in Jamaica from about 9 months to like 4 years old. And I've always had this distinct love of Jamaica, going back and being there. And I've always thought, why don't we do more to invest so that people don't have to leave? If people want to leave and go experience more, that's one thing. But the thought of having to leave your home country to be able to make a better life for yourself, I didn't really like that thought. And I always had conversations with people surrounding that topic. And I said to myself, I can keep having these conversations one by one, or I could create something to capture these conversations and potentially touch hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people, because it would be somewhere for people to come, connect, watch, feel the emotion, and then be inspired themselves to do something different.
Right. Tourism, which is a major part of the economy of Jamaica and a lot of the other islands as well in the West Indies and the Caribbean. Um, my question has always been how much of that economy, that tourism actually gets back to the people who live there. Like,
Very
and do you touch upon that in your film Jamaica Story?
We do touch upon that a little bit, and I speak about that on my social media at Jamaica Story. I actually have a graphic. I wish I had some way to be able to show it now, but The thing about tourism is majority of the large hotels that you see, the majority of the all-inclusive hotels that you see, and I can only speak for Jamaica, I'm not sure how it goes in the other Caribbean islands, but I'm sure it's something similar, are international investors. They invest into the hotel, they build it up, they give very, I want to say, menial jobs to the locals. And then what happens is people come, they spend money in the hotels, but majority of those profits leave the island. um the way I always try to allow it so that people from the states can understand is like if you have a mom and pop like convenience store inside your town, the owners of that mom and pop convenience store, their kids go to the school that your kids go to. Their kids walk on the street and drive the same cars and are affected by the same laws within that community that you are. So they have a vested interest because they live within the community. But when Home Depot comes in now, the CEO doesn't care as long as the business is making money. If it's not on their particular, they won't fix the sidewalks. They won't go to the mayor's office and be like, hey, we need a better principal for the school or we need our garbage to be picked up, because they're making money and they do not live within the community that the business is in. So that's kind of the thing that happens with Jamaica. The money comes in and people feel like they're helping. And I'm not, and at the end of the day, jobs are being created. But there's always an extra investment that goes in business when it comes to investing in the community.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yes, no question about that. It's not a thing of we don't want those businesses there or they shouldn't come in and blah blah blah. But again, my question is, how much are you giving back to the people who actually live there and come there and
Exactly.
provide so much of the resources and the infrastructure for you to come and have a business there to begin with?
Exactly. And what happens is, and it's not just give back that benefits you, it's not just give back and build the infrastructure so that your establishment can be good, because there's parts of Jamaica where you have a hotel with thousands of rooms, running water, fountains. And if you go 5 minutes down the street, you have communities that don't have running water. Or
Yeah,
even if they have running water, it's not always at the pipe for them, so they still have to buy a tank and have a basically
yeah,
their own
yeah.
well system.
Yeah, I liking it to if you're in the States to the casinos, right? Atlantic City, Las Vegas.
Yep.
There are real people who live in Atlantic City. There are real people who live in Las Vegas, but you don't hear anything about them. All you ever hear about is the Las Vegas casinos
Yeah.
and lately all the sports teams that have been coming in there, you
Mhm.
know, which is cool. But how much of that again goes back to
Yeah.
the people who actually live in not on the strip, because the strip is just like two,
It's
3 miles or whatever it is. But
yeah.
there's people who live like right there
Who
who
go
how
to
much
school, who kids go
yeah
to school, who
who
need
work there. You're taking taxes out of their check for the
yep.
work that they're putting in, and how much of that is recirculating within the community itself to go back to help those communities and those societies. But anyway,
Yeah.
that's just one thing. What are some of the other things that you're touching upon within the Jamaica Story, your film that we're going to be highlighting in Concho?
Jamaica Story, I think the biggest mantra behind Jamaica Story is Jamaicans investing in Jamaica. And I say that very loosely because the whole tagline is the hope that Jamaicans worldwide and people who love Jamaica invest more time as well as money into the country to help it develop. But when I kind of stick to this Jamaicans investing into Jamaica, because you don't want to create a dependency, a thought process that somebody has to come in from overseas and help us. So I've done lots of giveaways, I've done givebacks, and I've stayed in the background and I've hired my cousins who were born and grew up here to run it and like walk around with the packages and give out the packages and the tablets. And what the kids and the parents say is, oh, Jerry from Monterey, he was born and raised here and now he's giving back. What that does to a child who receives that is, wow, I don't have to be rich to give back. I don't have to drive in the hugest Bentleys and have the most cars and the largest. I can be a part of the community, and I can go to work every day, and I can carve out an hour of my day to, even if I don't have the money, give back the time. And that's the biggest thing. Like, so a lot of times when Jamaica Story is having events in Jamaica, I usually just try to play in the background because my family's from there. I'm a citizen of here, but I don't have the accent. So it's, it means something when like Black Panther meant something to so many young Black boys, and his sister meant so many things to so many young Black girls, because at the end of the day, it's like, they look like me. I can do that one day. And that's the
Absolutely.
biggest thing that I try to touch on. I try to inspire Jamaicans who were born and raised and may have left at an earlier time, come back and give and show these kids, like, hey, listen, I'm not a millionaire, but I'm down here and I'm giving my time, and we're making something happen for the community. Because in Jamaica, I think almost every community can point out 10 people who have left and gone overseas. If those 10 people were to send down $100 every year at graduation, and 10 is a very reserved number, if that'd be $1,000 that can go in scholarships to these kids, that would just change a parent's life and, give them a little bit of hope.
Absolutely. If you're just now tuning in, or if you're just now watching this from this point, we are talking to Mikey T, filmmaker, who's going to be featured in this year's CONCH International Film Festival, going down live in New York City, Queens at the Regal. No screens. We're going to be live in person, so you can talk to people one-on-one, face-to-face, build, talk about how you can support Jamaicans and Jamaica Story, and be in some of Mikey T's next visions that are coming down the road and so forth. For more information, CONCH.com is where you go. Now, how much support have you gotten while making this or putting together Jamaican Story from the local businesses or government there, or outside of the regular people?
Outside of the regular people, I
Yeah.
haven't gotten any support. All the
Okay.
finances from this project has come out of my pocket, because at the end of the day, I would say I didn't reach out for support financially in any way, shape, or form. This was an experiment project. I never knew where the return on investment was, if it is going to come. So I couldn't ask people for money in that sense. So I never really asked for support, and majority, it was just literally cold calling and cold messaging people on Instagram. It's like, hey, my name is, and I introduce myself, and it's like, I'll come to you, I'll reach you, and whatever, and let's get this interview going. And some people answered, some people didn't. It's just, and I never take, like, there was never a huge CEO or a huge political figure that saw this and said, hey, I want to be a part of it. But I don't take that to heart. It just shows me I need to work a little bit harder.
Absolutely.
In this world of social media, if you're a person of prominence, I'm sure you're getting hundreds, if not thousands, of DMs every day. If you don't answer mine, who am I to think that you should answer mine? No, I just
Right.
have to work a little bit harder and build the brand, because that's what that's the point of branding.
Right. Right. Absolutely. So this has been obviously a large undertaking and a large part of your life. What's the next thing for you though? Like after Jamaica Story, what's the next thing that's in your mind, in your brain, that you want to bring to life?
Um, First and foremost, I always said Jamaica Story is a conversation. So I don't think Jamaica Story ends. I just think this is one medium of Jamaica Story in this film. I have a YouTube page. Right now, it is Jamaica Story documentary on YouTube. But the plan is to shift from, or not shift from Jamaica Story, but create an umbrella distribution platform, which only through starting out in YouTube. But I have this brand that I'm going to call Caribbean Content House. And, everybody isn't going to make it to Netflix. Everybody isn't going to make it to Hulu. Everybody may not make it into every film festival that is out there. But I would love to have this Caribbean Content House be a hub on YouTube for independent, Caribbean-led and told stories. Because if we're not telling our own stories, it's never going to feel right. If you always listen to the hunter and the lion story from the hunter's perspective, the hunter's always the hero. But what about the lion? How did he feel? What's his perspective from the story? So I want to be able to create a hub for creatives to come and exercise and work that muscle of storytelling through film and content overall. Because they a lot of people, I've spoken to people, they're like, oh, Jamaica is such a niche market. Why did you do your film on Jamaica? Or the Caribbean is such a niche market. And yeah, it's a niche market. I won't say that it's not, but you can make a lot from a niche market. And people seem to forget, like, the United States is 50 states. But a lot of people, when you think about the movies, and when people think about America, they think about New York, they think about California, Atlanta now maybe a little bit more. And even these places, they're small parts of their whole bigger state. They're still selling niche markets. Right now, the UK is blowing up when it comes to Netflix, but a lot of it is featured in South London, not even London, South London, which is still a very niche market. So there's nothing wrong with a niche market. We just need the backing.
Right.
Life's a lot different when somebody says, I believe in you and I'm going to give you this sum of money. You don't have to worry about going out and finding it. You don't have to worry about working and stopping and then having to go get more funds. And, life's different. A niche, nothing's wrong with a niche market.
Absolutely. Definitely. And you can catch more of Mikey T once again at the the CONCH International Film Festival going down this year in Queens, live and in the flesh. Forest Hills, Queens, at the Regal. For more information, CONCHLIFF.com. And for more information on yourself, Mikey T, where can they get at you, your social medias and so forth?
On Instagram, you have at Jamaica Story. My personal Instagram is at Mikey T, MIKEY T Speaks, SPEAKS. That's on Instagram. If you want to get on the YouTube page, it's Jamaica Story Documentary on YouTube. And really, I have Facebook as well, Mikey T Campbell. But, Instagram is a place that I really engage a lot.
No question. Definitely, man. Well, I thank you for taking time out and joining me today and doing this conversation and letting people know what's happening with your story and Jamaica Story in general. And looking forward to seeing you at the festival this year.
Can't wait to meet you, brother. It's been a pleasure. Thank you for having me. And thank you to everybody who's tuning in.
Absolutely. Enjoy the rest of your day and evening.
You enjoy the rest of your day as well. Bye.
All right. Yes, indeed, folks. Once again, come on out to the CONCH International Film Festival going down this year live in the flesh in Queens, New York, Forest Hills. CONCHLIFF.com is where you go for more information. We'll have some more of these going down, and that's it for this particular segment. Until next time, I'm C.Truth. See you then.